So here we are, welcome back. Let's talk about some more movies, right? And today we're going to talk about probably one of the more I think people call it like progressive horror. Like we're going in some kind of direction here. Now let's talk about It Follows. Now, when I first heard of the concept for It Follows, and if you know what it's about, then you're just like, this is interesting. Now, to put it lightly, this is about it's an STD, sexually transmitted demon. um, yeah, once that happens, the demon's attached to you and it follows you. Now, there's some phenomenal cinematography in this. It's so creepy and so, I don't know, it makes a cool shot when, someone's directly following you and they're just kind of staring at you. Now, the first time I watched this was actually this year, in January, with a couple friends of mine. We were just like, dang, this is interesting. It's actually pretty well done. It's got an interesting story, and it's got a couple good jump scares. I think we all know the one, right? And so when I think about this, I think like, yeah, it is relatively a progressive horror movie because the things it does, and especially the soundtrack. Soundtrack is phenomenal. It's just like catches you off guard for how actually decent it is for such an odd concept per se. And apparently they're making a sequel, which I halfway agree with, halfway kind of disagree with, because like the original is just, it's good enough on its own, and to make a sequel, it's like, how are we gonna do this same thing differently? Is it like a Smile and Smile 2 kind of thing, where like the originals are just so relatively, original? Like, is this kind of derived out? Do we really need this? Is this the direction we want to go? Especially with more and more people talking about like, we need more originality as opposed to more sequels. But here's the thing: if the original is good enough, has good enough stories, has good enough scares, then why not have more? I guess So I'm kind of on and off the bandwagon of like horror movie sequels because, like I've said before, horror is probably the best medium to tell a story on because everyone reacts to fear differently, and there's so many things in the world we can fear. And especially like when we're trying to make a statement, especially like a metaphor or like a very subtle statement on things we're afraid of. And I think this is just one of those great examples of, what are we really afraid of and things like that. So overall, yeah, It Follows. I would highly recommend it to anybody because it's just, you probably haven't seen something like that before. And I think it's worth giving a check. It's worth giving a shot. So yeah, go check out It Follows, and we'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.